Would you look at that? Me being a good Ironman, blowing my class in a bank, rocking, well, I was going to say rocking some Fashionscape, but let's not talk about my Fashionscape. We'll work on that. That's for future reference. But I just kind of wanted to sit down with you guys, just kind of talk how I'm really enjoying old school right now. And no, don't worry, I'm not switching this entire channel over to an old school channel. As I said before in my previous video, am I switching to old school RuneScape? No, I am playing it in my spare time. It's the main game that I'm playing and streaming on Twitch as well every single day. Link in the description down below if you want to go check it out. I'm live every single day, but that's besides the point. And I've said that I'm going to be doing a series on leagues, and I will do. I will generally still be making RuneScape 3 content. I will be clarifying this every single time, at least for the next coming videos, at least. Well, not for the Progress series, but like if I ever talk about old school, because I don't want you guys to get the idea that I've given up on RuneScape 3. But I do kind of want to sit down and just have a little chat with you guys and talk about how my experiences have been on old school, especially as a RuneScape 3 player. And I'm not here to go into bash RuneScape 3 or something, but I just wanted to kind of like give some comparisons and tell you where I feel like RuneScape 3 does better and where old school does better. And I feel like both games have their place. I made an entire video. It's still the most successful video on my channel, by the way. That's actually crazy to think about, that people care so much about the whole RuneScape 3 and old school RuneScape debate. It's insane to me. Like, one thing that I've really noticed that whilst playing old school RuneScape, I mean, it's quite obvious that it is slower, but it makes so much more sense now that RuneScape 3 is just made for people who have less time and who might not be able to play 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. Look, right now I'm looking for a job or maybe be starting a course, so I'm not doing anything besides just editing videos all day, so I have plenty of time. And when you have plenty of time, old school RuneScape is an absolute blast of a game. I can generally see people having less fun in this game if you have a full-time job, because especially playing as an Ironman, you need to be doing so many grinds, like how I'm doing this glass making. But I'm doing this glass making whilst I'm editing, and it's quite nice. Well, obviously right now whilst I'm doing some commentary, so unfortunately you will be hearing some clips. I'm so sorry, but yeah, no, it's something that I've really noticed that there's a difference. Obviously RuneScape 3 is known to be quicker and stuff, but it really is starting to show, because if you can put in the time into old school RuneScape, it is fun. But I would say if you don't have the time, RuneScape 3 is probably a lot more fun, because you get to new content or better content a lot quicker than in this game. And that's no bash to either of the games or anything, but it's just something that I feel like is a general difference. But yeah, no, I've just been having a lot of fun. I've been playing a group Ironman with my friends. One of them joined in straight away. The other one was kind of hesitant. But then when we started playing, he kind of joined in, and I feel like he is going to get hooked now, because this weekend, as of me making this video, we'll be doing barrows, which is going to be a lot of fun. I've already done some barrows runs. I actually think I can show you if I know where to find it. I like these menus, by the way. These combat tasks, they should be, by the way, let me show you for if you're a RuneScape 3 player. These combat tasks should really be made a thing in RuneScape 3, like kill a black dragon. Obviously very simple stuff, but even here, kill any Barrows brother using only magical damage. These are all like obviously very simple ones, but let me go to some incompleted ones, and let me go to some elite tier ones. Let's go to Cerberus. Kill Cerberus without taking any melee damage. Very interesting, and this will be a challenge. If this gets added, like, look at how many there are, by the way. Look, wait, hold up. If I go to all of them and then just alt here, look how many of them are a thing. I think it's over like 4. Oh wait, it says it there, doesn't it? Yep, there are 484 of them. This could bring so much depth to RuneScape 3 as well if they just added something like that. And see, they have the collection log. But I was gonna show you that I've already done some Barrows runs. I was like, what am I doing again? Yeah, I've already done 16 Barrows runs, and I got an Aram staff and a Gotten's Torix blade body that is lost to the group member that we had in this group, but he unfortunately got hacked and he turned into a Vorkath bot. I think he has like 17,000 Vorkath kills or something. I know the guy, and I know he's a grind lord, but he's not grinding out 17,000 Vorkath. So yeah, it's something that is starting to get really enjoyable, just playing the group Ironman mode and kind of all having a role. Like I'm currently the one with the crafting role, also kind of smithing. I kind of just train on my smithing one to make a little bit of money with Giant's Foundry, with Dude, those skilling bosses, by the way, are sick, or skilling mini games, whatever. It's just such a nice interactive way to train all these skills instead of just sitting at an anvil just banging. Even though I think the mining and smithing rework is incredible in RuneScape 3, and I think it's way better than smithing on this game. But yeah, it's one thing that just makes it a little bit enjoyable. But yeah, no, I will do that. And I'm also kind of the Fletcher of the group, because that was kind of our early moneymaker, because one of our group members actually did a lot of wood cutting. So I was kind of just fletching all of them into U-bows and stringing them and turning that into a little bit of profit whilst alking, of course. But yeah, no, it's just been a lot of fun. Oh, by the way, I'm also the group's mage. This is a boostable to barrels portal where you can literally teleport to barrels. Obviously, we have to drink it to medallion in RuneScape 3, but it's just been a lot of fun, just kind of all having our own role. And I would say RuneScape 3 could benefit from a group Ironman, but I think that we already have it in a certain sense, because quite frankly, the only thing that Ironman can't do together is trade or use a bank together. But besides that, you can do PVM together. And to be honest, that is my biggest reason why I wanted to do group Ironman on Old School RuneScape. Like, I'm not skilled enough to go to Bandos in a solo encounter, or Zamorak, or any of the ones that you can only do solo on an Ironman, because I'm just not good enough. And I don't find it enjoyable to only be doing 1 or 2 or maybe 3 kills a trip, because I'm not good enough at flicking. Would that push me to get better at the game? Maybe. But at the same time, it's just something that I don't think I would enjoy. So that's why I started playing group Ironman. I think that the whole trading and group storage thing is fun, but it's not something that I feel like is incredibly necessary. It does save me from doing a little bit of farm runs. I'm still doing it, but because we have a dedicated herbler, and a dedicated farmer, it's a lot easier to just feed one person, and it kind of makes it so you only have to do the third of all the farm runs. But I don't really think that RuneScape 3 needs a group Ironman mode. I think it would be nice if it has it, like, as an option, but I don't think it's actually like a main priority or something. But overall, it's just been a fun experience. And I think one thing that I've really noticed in Old School, especially just sitting here, of course there will always be a most efficient path, right? That's in any game that goes for, hell, that goes for a game like Call of Duty, for example. The most efficient path will probably be use this gun and then until you unlock this one, and then use this one because that's the most powerful one, right? That will always be a thing in any video game, and that goes for RuneScape as well, not RuneScape 2 as well, because, well, technically this is RuneScape 2, isn't it? But I feel like it's just something that RuneScape 3 is kind of lacking. I think, especially as an Ironman mode, but even if you play it as a main, you're so stuck to doing a lot of monthlies and dailies and weeklies. And of course, I understand you have farm runs on this game and treehouse runs and stuff, but I just think that like, even thinking about PVM, right? Like, the path that we're going to be doing is we're going to go to Barrows, then we're going to get some tank gear. When we have some tank gear, we're going to go to DKs to get the rings, and in the meantime, we're going to be doing Slayer in, like, pretty much our own times to be able to unlock an Arclight, which is the best demon weapon in this game and the best in slot at Zamorak. Then we're going to go Zamorak to get ourselves some Zamorak spears to turn those into Hastas, and then we're thinking about going to Tombs of Amascut, which is the third raid in this game, where we will hopefully get at least one Osmoton's Fang, which is one of the most accurate weapons, or if not the most accurate weapon in the entire game, to be able to go to Bandos and then slap it up and get Bandos pieces. And then when we have Bandos gear, we might go somewhere else and then go slap up that boss, whatever we have planned. Like, we eventually want to do, like, all the raids and stuff. And I think that's just, like, that's like a path we're choosing. But a lot of people are also doing a path where you're rushing Song of the Elves, which is the Plague's End of this game, where you unlock Prifddinas and you unlock the Gauntlet, which will be able to unlock you the crystal armor with the Bow Ferdiddus, or the Bova as it's called, which is pretty much like the second best setup for range in the entire game when it comes to a bow build. And that is a route to go. But you can also go, like, different routes where you pretty much either skip Barrows, or you skip God Wars, or you don't skip God Wars, so you go to God Wars with, like, Dragon Scimitars or something. There's so many options to do, and I feel like that is something RuneScape 3 is really lacking, especially now with Necromancy, because you just train Necromancy and then that's it. That's your route. Like, there's not really a reason to dedicate yourself to be like a major or a ranger or whatever. And of course, this game pushes you to be a hybrid as well, even as a main, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, it feels like there are more options that don't feel like a time waste. Because even before Necromancy, the aim of the game was pretty much train your hunter, camp Croesus, get full Crypt Bloom, and in the meantime you will get so many Reaper points because that's the only Reaper task you'll be able to get at the level that you would unlock it at. And once that is the case, you were pretty much just tanked out, and then you would grind out the Animate Death Curse, and then you would go to Hellweir to be able to take that out. And because the Animate Death would carry you so hard, you didn't really need any skill to PVM or whatever. And yeah, here you really need to try to get better gear. And obviously, as a main, you could just make money a different way and just buy the good gear. I do understand it, but just speaking from an Ironman perspective for a little while, like, I think that is just something that like holds me back from continuing the Ironman series that I have, because I still get questions about it. Like, I'm glad you guys do enjoy it, but it's just that the game mode is laid out in such a way that to be like, I'm not a player that really wants to play like extremely efficient, but I like playing semi-efficient. Like, I like to play the game in a way where I'm like, okay, I feel like this is not a waste of my time. Like, I'm not gonna purposely kill goblins because killing goblins. No, I do want to try and find a efficient path. Like, I understand that, for example, maybe an efficient path would be in this game to fully skip Barrows and Dagon Kings, but that is something I do enjoy and I think is fun to be able to do, and it's also a bit nostalgic for me, and that is why I want to be doing those grinds. And thankfully my group wants to do it as well because of the exact same reasons. But on RuneScape 3, like, I feel like there's just there are less options. Like, I feel like so many things feel like so much more of a waste to do. Like, even like melee, you would just have to go to Kalphite King, and Kalphite King is just not an enjoyable boss. Or the other option you have to get really good melee weapons is to grind out Arc Laser, but then again, going to do high-end ranges, you pretty much need a good range setup or a mage setup anyway, so what is the point? And the same with range. Grinding out Ascensions is not that fun, and obviously Chaotix will do the job, but you kind of get my point, right? Like, and it's something that I feel like the lack of choice and the tie-in to a lot of dailies and weeklies and whatever is not really my thing. But I would say that one thing that I'm kind of scared with old school RuneScape, especially when we really get into PVM, is I know that old school RuneScape PVM is very varied in like mechanics and the things that you need to deal with and stuff. But at the end of the day, it will always come down to movement, prayer flicking, and inventory management. And I will probably miss like the more insane mechanics that you get in RuneScape 3. Like, for example, at Zami with, well, I mean, you can skip all the mechanics at Zami if you're good enough. But when you actually don't do the mechanics, you need to do Devotion, you need to do a Resonance, you need to take out the minions, you need to place a bomb somewhere, you need to go into the abyss, then you need to do the DPS check at the end, whilst also doing a debilitate, like pretty much combining it with your defensive. Or, dude, even Karapak with his time warp ability, which I think is still one of the most sick and insane abilities in any game that I've ever played, where you can literally go back in time to like a state of you with higher adrenaline so you can do more damage. Like, that to me is just, yeah, no, I think the PVM, like, long term will be hopefully more enjoyable to me on RuneScape 3. But overall, like, I think right now I'm just really enjoying old school RuneScape, because as a comp player, I don't really feel like any. I know that not everyone is comped, and I'm not saying that the game is bad because of it, because a lot of people interpret it as that as well when I talk about me as a comp player. But what I'm trying to say is, like, as a comp player, like, it's easier to get bored because, well, you kind of completed the game. And for me, trim comp is very interesting to get, but then again, I'm so stuck to time-gated shit, and in my head, time-gate stuff, like, if I don't get it done first, it will just burn me out on going for all the other requirements. It's just a me thing, and I know that's not a good thing, but I feel like as a comp player, like, there's just not much to do. Like, something like those combat achievements that I just talked about earlier, that would really push me to get better at the game. And sure, at some point you will have that completed as well, but with every single new boss, there's also new combat task, and with every new boss, obviously, there's new collection log, which is also the same on RuneScape 3. But just that little thing is just, I don't know, it's a lot more fun, and it's something I've just really been thinking about. Same with the achievement system in RuneScape 3. We have a lot of very interesting achievements in RuneScape 3 that you can get outside of like the achievement diaries. Just even things like, oh, do a trilogy run, which kind of could be a combat achievement, of course, but do a trilogy run at all the elite dungeons, or even so, like, something as simple as, what is it called? Like, fill the banana crate on Karamja, right? And then get some money for it, which is not a diary. Well, I think it's a diary task, but let's take that as an example. Like, there are loose achievements like that are not tied to achievement diaries, but also not tied to what could be a combat achievement diary in old school RuneScape, of course. And I feel like that system could have something better. Like, give us an actual reason, give us an actual reward besides a weird pet to do those achievements and actually chase them down, because it will give people a little bit of an aim or a little bit of a goal. If there's like, even if it's like a cool cosmetic, well, even I think it should actually be some sort of like gameplay buff or something, maybe some useful teleports or just anything that would make you go like, I don't feel forced to go for it, but I do want to go for it. And make it so that it has tiers as well, because then you could possibly make it so that it's also kind of interesting for people that aren't comp to actually go for it and be like, yo, actually, I might want to be able to complete these random achievements because I need like a couple of points. And when I have the points, I will get an unlock that is very useful for me to do X activity, right? And then tie it into obviously interesting and good activities, or give it like a nice passive buff or whatever it might be. I think there's such a good reward space for it, because chasing all these things is just really, by the way, me right-clicking him, that could have literally got me banned of YouTube, because the names in this game are absolutely outrageous. But yeah, no, that's just something. But I've just been having a buttload of fun in old school RuneScape, and as you can tell, like, I've just been rambling on about this game, and it's a good thing, of course, that I'm enjoying this thing. But just know that I don't hate RuneScape 3. I do love the game, and I'm just right now I just don't feel like playing the game. But when Vorkath comes out, the new boss, then I will be playing the game and I will be enjoying the game, and I'm gonna definitely be grinding it out and definitely be just chilling. And I'm not gonna make a guide, because obviously that's not been my type of content, but I definitely will make some content on it. And yeah, let me know in the comments section down below what are some things that you are currently working on. What are some things that you are currently playing? Are you playing old school RuneScape? Why are you enjoying playing old school RuneScape? Or even when you're playing RuneScape 3, why are you currently enjoying it? I'm genuinely curious. Like, what keeps you going, and what type of account are you? Because both games are amazing, and we should be, I will say this whenever we talk about something related to old school first RuneScape 3, even though this isn't really like a hard-hitting piece or whatever like my other video is. But I think a lot of people are always trying to pit them against each other, and it's just cringe, bro. Like, we have two amazing games. Obviously, both of them have flaws. RuneScape 3 has its MTX, and old school RuneScape might have its more elitist PvM, or not PvM community, just community in general, trying to manipulate votes. By the way, go check out my second channel video on it. But overall, we should be happy that we have two different games that are in the same universe that kind of are similar. We should just be happy about it, and you should play whichever one you feel like playing, or, you know, whichever is most fun to play with for you with your friends, because playing with your friends is a lot of fun. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you're currently playing and why, and leave a like as well, subscribe if you do, and I'll see you guys in my next video on Tuesday. Much love and goodbye.